Deep beneath the dense jungle canopy, Ellie the elephant, monkey, tortoise, and cat live in a predictable rhythm, rarely leaving one another's side. But that morning, the peace breaks. Ellie wakes up, scans the clearing, and realizes that Andy the ant is nowhere to be found. Ellie attempts a solo search. She combs through the reeds at the riverbank and looks behind every root of the great tree, but the forest floor remains empty. An elephant can cover ground quickly, but finding one tiny ant in a landscape this vast is statistically impossible for a single animal. Without eyes in more places, Andy remains lost. Ellie gathers the group. She explains that they can't wait for Andy to return. They have to move now, together, to find him. As the group moves out, keep a close eye on the path ahead. You might notice the small details that these animals are looking for. Success in a search like this isn't about brute force. It requires a variety of specialized perspectives working in tandem to process the environment. The team divides their labor. While Tortoise methodically checks the low brush, Monkey takes to the vines. From his height, he can survey the geometry of the ground far more effectively than those below. Suddenly, Monkey stops. He signals to the group, pointing toward a specific disruption in the dirt path. Look at the center of the path. Can you see what Monkey is pointing at? Right there, a line of tiny footprints leading away from the clearing. Monkey's elevated vantage point allowed the group to identify a pattern that would have been invisible to anyone walking directly on top of it. The group follows these marks deeper into a dense, unfamiliar part of the jungle. Cat stops the team. She lowers her head, using her heightened sense of smell to isolate a specific chemical signature in the air. Take a look at the ground near the footprints. What do you see scattered among the leaves? These are sugar crystals. Knowing Andy's preference for sweet snacks, Ellie deduces that he was lured off his usual path by the scent of a meal. They follow the combination of footprints and sugar to the base of a large rock. From a small hole in the stone, they hear Andy's faint voice calling out. By layering two different types of evidence, the physical footprints and the chemical presence of the sugar, the team has narrowed the entire jungle down to this single point. Inside the rock cavity, the situation is grim. Andy has walked directly into a thick, gooey puddle of honey and is completely immobilized. This diagram illustrates why Andy is stuck. Viscosity is a fluid's internal resistance to flow. The honey's sticky force is vastly higher than Andy's pulling force. While Ellie has the strength to overcome this, the narrow hole creates a physical boundary her trunk cannot pass. Think carefully about the tools that are available. How can the team reach Andy and pull him out without getting stuck in the honey? Strength is only useful if it can be applied. When environmental constraints block the primary rescuer, the solution must be found through a more complex chain of events. Ellie assigns specific roles. Cat is sent for dry leaves, and Monkey retrieves a rigid stick. At first glance, these items seem unrelated, but when combined, they form a specific mechanical system. In Phase 1, Cat drops the dry leaves onto the surface of the honey. This organic barrier neutralizes the stickiness, creating a stable platform. Monkey stands on the leaves and extends the stick into the hole. This creates a bridge that Andy can grip. In the final phase, Ellie wraps her trunk around her friends and pulls. Her massive force transfers through the chain of animals and the stick, finally popping Andy out. With the group safe and back at the clearing, Andy realizes that venturing off alone to chase a snack nearly led to a permanent mistake. This is the essence of synergy, a concept where different individual strengths are merged. It solves a problem that would be impossible for any of them to tackle alone. In the jungle, the strongest tool is the one that involves everyone.